This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. You are looking live at True North Plaza in downtown Winnipeg. It is the calm, the empty before the crowd. Fans will soon fill this space as they enjoy Game 4 of the NHL playoff series between the Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. Thanks for joining us for this special whiteout edition of CBC Winnipeg News. I'm Janet Stewart, coming to you live from the corner of Donald Street and Graham Street, where in just a half an hour the gates will open for the Donald Street Whiteout Party. Two parties tonight, 6,000 fans. As we were coming here tonight, we could see lots of people dressed in white, just waiting for this party to get started. We'll bring you more on the playoff excitement in just a moment, but first let's get to other pieces of local news. Performing arts organizations in Manitoba warn they are facing a fiscal cliff. The pandemic forced theaters and concert halls to close. Audiences have been slow to return. As CBC's Cameron McLean reports, arts organizations are calling on the federal government to step in with support.
The Manitoba Opera is closing its 50th season with a performance of Mozart's Così fan tutte. Whether they make it another 50 years could be in question. Ticket sales have remained slow despite the end of pandemic restrictions, and CEO Larry DeRoche says their survival could be at risk.
We're looking at future forecasting, and there's a gap between the revenues that we can generate and the costs.
20 arts organizations from across the prairies signed a letter to Federal Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez. They want the government to renew COVID-19 recovery supports for arts organizations that ended last year. In the letter, they say arts organizations with a high reliance on earned revenue, in particular the performing arts, continue to be severely impacted, with audiences still hovering at 65% of pre-pandemic levels. The letter was also signed by the Royal Winnipeg Ballet, the Royal Manitoba Theatre Centre, and the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra. The organizations expect ticket sales to return to normal in 5 to 7 years. Symphony Executive Director Angela Birdsell says they don't have that much time.
We're fine this year, but next year that's going to be a huge problem for us. And we've got a lot of folks, colleagues that we've been speaking with, not only here in Manitoba, but across the country and specifically in the prairies, that are saying we're not going to make it next year.
The Symphony is making some changes to try to attract new audiences down here to the Centennial Concert Hall. They moved their concert series from Saturday to Thursday. Shows will start earlier to make it easier for people who work downtown to stay. The opera's DeRoche says helping these organizations survive will improve the health of downtown Winnipeg.
The more people that are downtown, the safer it feels for everyone. And, we just create great life experiences for people.
In order to keep giving people those experiences, organizations like the Manitoba Opera say they need help. Otherwise, they could face their final curtain. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Poisoned street drugs may have claimed another life. Someone was found dead this morning inside a Winnipeg bus shelter. A transit driver reported it just after 6 a.m. at Graham Avenue and Vaughan Street. Police had yellow tape and tarps up around the shelter during the morning rush hour. They say the death is not criminal in nature. It will take an autopsy and tests to determine why the person died. Tainted drugs caused at least 6 overdoses in the Paw this past Saturday alone. RCMP had to use a spike belt to stop a driver who drove erratically through Winnipeg early this morning. Witnesses posted video of the chase on social media. The vehicle narrowly missed people in at least one other vehicle. It had only 3 tires. RCMP used a spike belt on the west side of Portage la Prairie to stop the driver. They handed the suspect over to Winnipeg police. A draft report commissioned by the province shows more healthcare workers here are dealing with burnout and thinking of quitting than elsewhere in Canada. This report is a year old. It's never before been made public. The Liberals and NDP obtained a copy and released it today. The report says 2/3 of employees report burnout, and more than half have seriously thought of looking for a new job.
It's not about individual employees' ability to cope. They've been pushing as hard as they can and they're burned out because they're being broken by a system where they don't get supports. And it's absolutely clear.
The report makes recommendations like developing a system-wide strategy to help employees and reviewing staffing ratios. The government didn't immediately answer today which of these recommendations they would act on, but we have asked for a response and hope to get it later. Broken Head Ojibwe Nation is demanding the province take immediate action to make the highway that runs through that community safer. The chief and council held a press conference today to lay out the changes they want to see. A 75-year-old man, Larry Hodge, was killed in a hit and run on Highway 59 last week while he was walking to work. The First Nation wants to see the speed limit reduced to 50 kilometers an hour. It wants safe crosswalks and highway shoulders. Also better lighting. The chief and council says the community's been asking for these changes for decades. And if they'd been in place already, more lives would have been saved.
My uncle didn't deserve this. My uncle didn't deserve to be left out there. Something needs to be done for our people. This time it was him, but next time it could be one of our children. It's not okay.
The province says it has already added speed notification signs to that highway. It's considering other long-term solutions, which it will present to Chief Blue Sky in the coming weeks. Joined now by meteorologist John Sauder.
Yes, and it should be a lot warmer, Janet.
It should be, John.
You know, normal high for this time of year is about 14, and I have a feeling that even though the gates aren't quite open yet, if it was 14 or 15 degrees right now, we'd see people milling about and kind of getting ready to come in. But I also noticed some heaters, you know, some patio heaters.
Yes, they put lots of those out. If you are coming down, be sure to wear at least light gloves like I am.
Yeah, we've been out here for a little ways and a little bit of time anyway, and my hands are already cold. So dress for it if you're coming to the Whiteout Party. Let's get to the current conditions. Nowhere near that 14 that we were talking about right now. It is only 5 degrees in Winnipeg, but hey, at least the winds are not all that strong. North at 13 at the moment. Now, there is a little bit of cloud over downtown. You can see that cloud just about to move out of the southeast part of the province, and it will move out of the Winnipeg region as we head through the evening hours. Fairly clear overnight, and tomorrow's a gem. Calm winds in the morning. We're looking at some sunshine through the day, and then we get into some cloud as we get into Wednesday and some rain. Not sure you saw that rain moving through, so I'm going to back up and then go forward again and show you Futurecast one more time, because you'll see that leading edge of rain that will move across the province on Wednesday. It reaches the western sections of the province about 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning, reaching the Red River Valley by the time we get to about noon. Projected rainfall, not all that much. I'm saying between 5 and 10. Some of this is going to arrive later in the day, Wednesday, but by 6 p.m. you can see the rainfall would be at about 6 millimeters here in the Winnipeg area. And on the northern side of this, it's snow, and we could see an additional 6 centimeters of snow in the Paw. So tomorrow's forecast, generally cloudy around the Paw and Flin Flon, 8s and 9s for you, 7s and 8s around Thompson and Norway House, with a sun cloud mix, and a sun cloud mix and -2 in the Churchill area. And then we go to the south, where we're all in the sunshine or a sun cloud mix, and in some cases double digits. Dauphin getting to 11. Tomorrow we'll be at 10 in Winnipeg, 11 in Steinbach, 11's out in the areas around Sprague, Pinawa, Lac du Bonnet, Whiteshell, and then on into northwestern Ontario, 7s and 8s for tomorrow. So, Janet, a sun cloud mix out to the east, and we'll be looking forward to a bit of a soaker on the way on Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
You bet.
John will be back a little later to bring us his 7-day forecast. And now to the playoff series that has us here live tonight. Official whiteout parties only happen during Jets playoff home games, the first of which happened Saturday afternoon. Just look at how the crowd filled the block where I'm standing right now. This is what we expect to see again today once the gates behind me to this party open in roughly 20 minutes' time. What a dramatic game they witnessed Saturday. Pivotal moments late in the first period. Jets defenseman Josh Morrissey collides with Manitoban Zach Whitecloud of the Golden Knights. In that hit, Morrissey suffers a lower body injury that knocks him out of the game and the rest of the series. Jump to the start of the third period. It's 4-1 Las Vegas when the Jets start to fight back. The crowd loves it. First, Nino Niederreiter, I meant to say, makes it 4-2. Then Mark Scheifele scores to make it 4-3. Finally, Adam Lowry, with only 22 seconds left in the game, ties it up, forcing double overtime. But in that second overtime period, a Jets pass bounces and sets up Vegas's Michael Amadio. The Jets win 5-4. They head into tonight's game with a 2-1 series lead. What a roller coaster ride that was for Jets fans. Well, this is a new day, another chance for Winnipeg to celebrate a victory at home, whether they're watching at home in bars and restaurants or at the two whiteout parties soon to start downtown. CBC's Marjorie Dowhouse joins us now live from the other party, the site of the other party, True North Square Plaza. So Marjorie, what's happening where you are?
Well, Janet, fans are making their way down here to True North Square in the plaza. People donning their white, all the concessions are open. People getting ready to pick their seats here to watch Game 4 tonight. Now, we know what a Winnipeg whiteout means for this city and for Jets fans, but this tradition has a really long history. It started about 37 years ago, and the idea in part came from Rod Paulson. Now, Rod was working for a Winnipeg advertising agency who was tapped by the Winnipeg Jets back in the day to come up with a playoff campaign. His idea? For fans to wear white, and that gave birth to the whiteout. Well, after all these years, that whiteout has only grown, and it's also transcended generations of Jets fans, including Rod Paulson's family. Take a look at this.
Winnipeg to the attack with Bosman for Hamel. Hamel with shot scores!
I'm Rod Paulson. I was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time some 37 years ago, I guess. To come up with a concept that the whole province, maybe the whole nation, has kind of in some way, shape or form fallen in love with, the whiteout. I was called to a meeting to discuss some things with the hockey club. As the creative director and account director for the Winnipeg Jets account at the advertising agency I was a partner in, the club was looking for an answer to what Calgary had created with the Sea of Red. And I said, what about white? It's never been done before. It would be very easy to pull off. We had a very short time frame. This is coming up. This is at the end of the regular season. Playoffs are coming up. So the turnaround time was very dramatic, right? And you know, my basis was everybody's probably got a white T-shirt in their closet or their drawer that they can throw on and get out to the game. And really, that's how it happened. And from there, it was totally driven by the fan base, right? It was simple. They did it. They made it happen overnight, and it's a phenomenon that continues to this day.
Crowd yelling to shoot. Here's a chance in front. They score. Pat Elnick on the redirection.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. You know, in my own personal world, it's now a very special thing through 3 generations of my family. And I'm guessing that there are tens of thousands of other families in this province, just like ours, who are thoroughly embracing the whiteout.
For you personally, you touched on your family and how this has gone down generation. How does it make you feel to know that your grandkids and your children and everyone has, taken this on and enjoyed the whiteout?
Well, it's a great source of pride. We don't talk about it a lot, but the kids are just so into it. My grandson, of course, but the granddaughters as well. They are totally into it. They are diehard Jets fans. It is something that they talk about a lot with their friends at school.
Do your grandkids know that you had a hand?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
And what have they, how do they react? What do they say?
They're pretty proud of that, but I do know that it's a tremendous source of pride for them, for sure. Yeah, it certainly fuels their passion.
Ryan Little won the draw. Morrissey shoots, he scores!
It's got to give you chills when you see that wall of like white around the arena, and also like on the street too. It's like all white.
Never gets old, for sure. It's just so different now because, like I said, you know, back then there was no social media, but if I use a social media term, it was all organic. Almost everybody has a white Jets jersey, that like an official team jersey that they're going to wear, as opposed to a t-shirt they dragged out of the drawer. So it's so different then. There was no whiteout street parties then. So it has just gotten bigger and more incredible, and it's more awe-inspiring than ever, for sure.
Kyle Connor's shot scores!
So from my standpoint, it's just so fantastic that it's still having the same impact on the community that it had, you know, all those years ago.
A great idea, from the story of one proud family to another one. A Winnipeg family marking a major milestone. Simone Carrier is celebrating her 107th birthday. CBC's Emily Brass dropped by for the festivities.
5 generations honoring their matriarch, Simone Carrier. She just turned 107, making her one of the oldest people in Canada.
My whole family is willing to visit me, so that was nice.
Her son, Ghislain Carrier, says his mother was a longtime volunteer at St. Boniface Cathedral, and in her later years, she visited seniors younger than her because she didn't want them to be lonely.
You know, she'll say, well, how come everybody says hi to me? Well, I said, everybody knows you, Mom, and you're always saying hi back.
She and her husband ran Carrier Grocery, where La Belle Baguette is today. Carrier grew up on a farm, the daughter of French immigrants. She lived through both world wars and survived Spanish flu as a baby. Her daughter Josiane Carrier-Kahn says her mother has a knack for bouncing back from challenges.
She loves to walk, and she swam until she was 99 years old. So she's only been in a nursing home for 3 years, so that's not bad.
Not bad at all for 107. Emily Brass, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Coming up, we'll introduce you to a 10-year-old who keeps track of every shot, penalty, and goal for every Jets game. And not just the playoffs. He's been scorekeeping for years. We'll have a story after the break. You're watching CBC Winnipeg News. All right, time to check in once again with Marjorie Dowhouse, who's standing by live at True North Square in downtown Winnipeg. Marjorie?
Well, Janet, fans continue to line up here and come through the gates at the plaza at True North Square. Now, Jets fans would say that they're pretty diehard and they love their team, but I actually spoke to a 10-year-old today, Arth Patel, who's pretty diehard himself. He keeps track of all the stats during the game. He's going to be keeping track of the stats tonight. Have a listen.
Hi there, Arth. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello.
Now, you've been doing this now for 4 years. That is very impressive. Why did you want to do this?
I'm not sure. Just one day, I guess my mom took away my iPad, and when the Jets game was on, I guess I just kind of felt like doing something, and then I just started all of a sudden, and I have been doing it since.
Do you like it?
Yes, it's very fun.
Yeah, what do you love about doing this?
Well, it just makes you it kind of like puts a part in the game, like whatever you write down. People sometimes say, it's already on the screen, why are you writing it down yourself? I just say, for fun.
Now, we're gonna take a look. We're gonna give you a chance here to show off your whiteboard. Okay, let's do that.
I usually like to draw the logos in this section at the top, so you can know what team is getting the goals, and then I write down their records. Since it's a playoffs, what seed they are, and in the middle section, I used to write who scored the goals, at what time and stuff. But since it's the playoffs, I changed it to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas currently leads it, unfortunately 2-1. I might use the Winnipeg Jets logo twice. I always change this one because the next team we play is always changing. But since it's the playoffs, I might keep this for another day or so. So then I can reuse the board and I don't have to keep drawing new logos. So then my markers would run out. I write where it was played. It was played in Canada Life Center. What period it was double overtime, and how many players were on the ice, and what players were in the penalty box and why. So
wow, and you also have the shots on goal too.
And I have the shots on goal, which I change for literally every shot. That probably takes up the most amount of marker.
What did you think of the game on Saturday?
It was a heartbreaker.
Yeah. What was it like watching that double overtime?
It was stressful. I was like, ooh, who's gonna win this game? And then, unfortunately, it was a giveaway and it ended up in our goal. So
yeah. What do you think their chances are in Game 4 tonight?
I think they're pretty high. I think Bonus probably yelled at them and told them, hey, you better do some work today. And yeah, I think they can bounce back.
These games are actually late games. The game tonight is at 8:30. What did you have to do to convince your parents to stay up late to watch it? Well,
I have a TV in my room. That's a great thing. And once my parents just fall asleep, I ask them first, I usually wouldn't be able to stay up for these late games, but since it's the playoffs, I would, and I usually just ask them politely.
Well, you are very good at it, and it was an absolute pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you.
That is Arth Patel, Jet statistician. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
And here is your 7-day forecast. 10 degrees in the sunshine tomorrow, and then we get some rain on the way later on Wednesday, but back to double digits and drier weather for Friday and the weekend, but we could see a few showers on Saturday night. Now, it's so great to see these passionate fans out here all the time. Coming out to cheer on the Jets. Hopefully tonight is not the emotional roller coaster that Saturday was.
You know, it got us thinking about what an emotional thing it is to be a Jets fan. So we sent CBC's Josh Grab out to find out. Here's your Daily Lift.
How do they affect you emotionally?
Oh, we like all fans, we feel the highs, feel the lows.
Cry all the time they win. I'm so proud of them. I feel their passion. I have the same passion as the Jets.
Best feeling when they win. Best feeling ever.
A lot of nail biting and screaming in our house through April.
I'm always rushing with dopamine whenever they're winning, that's for sure.
How does the team affect you emotionally?
Way too much. Way too much. Way too much time invested in following the hockey club. But hey, it's fantastic.
It's a little bit stressed, but it's all good. It's lots of fun. And they scored! Awesome!
They just scored. That was such a comeback.
I know.
Amazing.
I can already see people lining up on Portage Avenue, Janet, at the security gate behind us. It is going to be busy here tonight.
Absolutely busy. 5,000 fans bought tickets to be here and another 1,000 over at True North Plaza.
And up next, right here on CBC, the Leafs and Lightning. The Jets game starts at 8:30. The gates are opening up at 6:30.
Wouldn't a win be a good thing?
It would be.
It would be a good thing. Go Jets, go!
Go Jets,
Thank
go!
you for being with us. Have a great night.